Hey everyone, it's Mike Taylor, aka BattleshipCobra. Thank you to everybody who's subscribed. Hello to new subscribers. Thank you so much for taking my Udemy course for Crystal Reports for SAP Business One. I'm working on an SQL/HANA course for SAP Business One right now. I'm going to try and do more videos and spend more time on YouTube. Thanks to all the questions, comments, and things I've got. So a little bit of housekeeping stuff. I redesigned my website, BattleshipCobra.com, a landing site. Like basically, just to support me, you can buy me a coffee or a drink, subscribing to my videos, like, share, and all that stuff, and taking my Udemy course. So I've just kind of simplified it, cleaned it up a little bit. The archives are still there, but I find everything I've really done on the archives I've done on YouTube anyway. So today's video, it's about the B1 Usability Package. So you say, what is that? Well, it's an add-on that allows you to extend and customize SAP Business One. The company that makes it, Boyum, has done some videos to promote it, but I didn't think that they really hit exactly what I think about B1UP when I think about the value that it adds. So you can kind of see the video
Buying
here.
SAP Business One is a bit like buying a house.
Tiny bit, and you can check it out. I'll put the link in the bio in the description. I mean, the thing about the B1 Usability Package is it allows you to do DIY customization of a lot of parts of the system, and it also comes with a toolbox, comes with a dashboarding system, and a lot of other things. So really, it's things that should be in SAP Business One, and I think every single person that uses SAP Business One should use the B1 Usability Package. I endorse it that strongly. They're not paying me to say this. I just really think that it's a great system, and it makes working with Business One make a lot more sense. So I wanted to do a video on that to show you. So what's the benefit of it? Okay, so I made some notes. The DIY customization is really amazing, and I'll demonstrate how that works. You can do everything within the framework of B1UP, and you don't have to do development. You don't have to recompile for new versions. I would say it really does make it upgrade proof. I do not worry with B1UP when upgrading. I don't find it as a big red flag factor. You might have to move some, depending if SAP resizes some forms, you might have to move some fields around. But the fundamental functioning of the add-on will be fine. Finally, it allows you basically to make immediate changes to your system that you're going to see reflected the next time the user uses the forms. So I'm going to show you a whole bunch of features that it has, and you as a user can do it yourself. They have Boyum has tons of videos, tons of resources, great manuals, great support. You can do it yourself, you can learn, you can just throw it in a test environment and mess around with it, watch their YouTube videos with Rasmus, and yeah, so it's a great product, it's well supported. I love to work with it too, and just out of the box you can even get a lot of great benefit just from the dashboards. So let's jump into the actual system now, and I'll show you around why I love the B1 Usability Package. Let's go. Okay, so as I said, B1UP is a collection of a bunch of different tools, and I'm going to go through them now and talk about some of my favorite features and just kind of the general set of functions. I'm going to go kind of quickly because there's so much, but you can watch it a few times, obviously, the video. So the first thing you're going to notice here is the dashboarding system, which in my opinion is amazing. It is a direct SQL connection. There's no B1I connection involved. You're not going to get kind of the misconnection to the framework and all that stuff. So that's really nice. It's very solid. You could do the drill downs in here. You do drill downs. You can do all sorts of different charts. This is just the out-of-the-box stuff: sales, purchasing, finance, service, and production. This is out of the box. You can customize this completely using their dashboard system. Their dashboard system is amazing. So you basically just take your any query, any SQL query, you can run through here, preview the results, you can use parameters, and what else can I say? It's really amazing, comes with a lot of ones out of the box, and you basically make your SQL query. So if you're good with SQL, you just throw your query in there, visualize it with these visualizations. So pivot, grid, chart, all these cards, stream map, gauges. You can make your kind of typical dashboard stuff, publish it immediately. You can customize it by user group, so you can publish them specifically to users or to user groups. You can hide management ones if it's outside the management group, etc. It's very flexible, very powerful, very nice and easy to use. I really, really like it. I think this just out of the box provides so much value. And again, you don't have to redo it. You don't have to redo it and then republish it and then wait for the changes. You can just go boom, change it, and everybody will see it. Secondly, it provides some tools that just fix little things. So the exchange rate, in like 2 seconds, you're already going to fix the missing exchange rate functionality of SAP Business One. Automatically you'll be able to choose from the different banks here, so you can take a look. I'm in Canada, so in like 10 seconds, you just check a box and basically all your troubles are done. You don't have to use some sort of third-party software or anything like that. So that is amazing. Thirdly, it has like a toolbox of little things that you can fix kind of just with check boxes here. So the ones I tend to use is the flags. You see BattleshipCobra here, and you see the Canadian flag. So just basic stuff like that. It's on documents as well, so you can just see what country you're dealing with. It's a little tiny thing. I kind of like it. But then some other things here is go to new. So for new, when you make a new business partner, it's going to go directly to that new business partner. Same with the items. If you're looking at the items, go to new. If you make a new item, it's going to go to it. With documents, go to new. So if you make a document, you know, generally people make the document, they want to go back to it and email it or whatever. Another thing is the journal remark system, which I think is fantastic. I mean, one of the things people talk about for bank reconciliations is just like, what vendor did I pay? And, you know, oh, it shows the code. So V00100. Okay, well, I don't know who that is. So now you can change so that when you're doing the journal remarks, it says the type and the card name, and you can customize this with a set of keywords that they have and really make it your own. It has some other things as well, you know, in here, lots of little tools, and that's a really nice set of features that they have with the basic toolkit setup. So that's that stuff just comes with it. I'd say the primary reason that you want to use B1UP is the item placement system. So the item placement system allows you to customize forms however you want to see them. So in this case, you can see this is a heavily customized sales order, and you can see I have buttons here. I don't need to use the UDF sidebar. You can totally eliminate it by rolling all those fields into the main fields, and you can turn them into checkboxes. You could turn them into drop downs that have dynamic content. You can add your own tabs here. I just added an empty tab. You can add fields, text box, field areas, buttons. In this case, I have related activities. If there are related activities to this document, you can see them here, and you can click on this and see. Boom, I have a new activity. So this kind of takes that out of the shadows and lets you know if there's a note on that document. Again, the buttons, I mean, things like this, invoice before shipment, you check this and it shows there. It's something that really brings context to the users. You can customize the item placement tool by user. You can add golden arrows wherever you want. You know, so certain users would see, you can say certain users can see specific things, certain users can't, certain users can edit certain things, certain users just see read only, stuff like that. It really, I think, reinforces, you know, sticking to the processes, and, you know, it makes it easier for users to understand it. You can color code the fields, you can use validations if they're putting in correct data in there, if they're missing data. So your compliance will become higher, in my opinion, by putting things where they make sense. You can also hide system fields and eliminate things like that. So I think that is a fantastic reason to get it. You know, you're going to say, oh, 9.1 or whatever, they added the ability to move UDFs into the form. Well, it's kind of a joke compared to B1UP. B1UP can do placements wherever you want. Again, like full custom control over everything, over the size. You can make them dynamic, you can make them fixed width, fixed size. You can put them exactly where you want, exactly how I want to see them. I'm very, very particular, and the SAP system did not cut it for what I wanted to do with it. So the second major thing you are going to want is the macro system. And you can think of the macro system as like a super formatted search. So, if you've ever tried to do a formatted search and you're like, oh, how do I do this from multiple fields? How do I, do a chain of formatted searches in order for me to make the data go properly, and I can't trigger it on certain things? Well, you can basically just kind of do whatever you want. You want certain calculations to be done. You want to add items on the rows dynamically. You want to check the rows. You want to do validations on the rows with a line loop. You want a pop-up box when a particular thing is, when a certain user opens a new sales order. I don't know how many times I've had the request, like, can you just pop up a note whenever we open up this particular customer? And out of SAP, it's like, no, of course not. I just can't do that. With B1UP, it's so easy. So you could do prompts, you can do line loops, you can do things. And here's an example. So I want to do, what do I get? Superseded parts. So I get this question all the time. So I type this in, boom. The system detects whether it should run the macro, runs the macro, does a prompt. It says part is superseded, replace with item, gaming keyboard, push yes. It replaces it. Things like that. It's just, you can't do that out of the system, out of the box with SAP Business One. And it's so powerful that it's something that we need to talk about. So things like the available to promise, I've simulated that using the line loop system instead of using the out-of-the-box availability check, which is pretty broad. You could do the item availability check and say leave out particular warehouses and then warn you if an item doesn't have availability. So you can just write that yourself. It was not too complicated. Anything you can think of, you can automate forms and copying between forms. So if you do some process, like I did an automatic receiving of batches from a production order where they just typed in like 5 and then push completed. And from the main production form, it goes, makes the batch with a Julian date, enters the number of units that were finished, and then comes back to the main form. So you can pretty much automate anything that you want. You can do the calculations, date math, all sorts of things, like same way that you can use a formatted search for, just way better. You can trigger it on the opening of the form. You can trigger it on changing or validation of a field or fields. You could use it on multiple forms. You can, do all sorts of triggers. You can use SQL conditions to trigger it or to not trigger it, which will speed things up. A lot of things like that. So it's very exciting as a consultant to be able to do that type of stuff. Just totally under your control. You don't need developers, and you can do it yourself. Nothing against developers. I just can't develop. So I need another solution to do stuff like this. However, if you are a developer, you can use SDK.NET snippets, like code snippets. I haven't really explored this. Again, I'm not really a developer, but supposedly if you have a more advanced chunk of code, you can trigger it in the same way and have that run as well. So that'd be really interesting to experiment with. Again, I'm not really a developer, so I don't know much about it. What else? So next thing I'm going to talk about is better SQL and Crystal. So if we're going to sales here, you have your sales report. So I did a simulated SQL sales analysis. So this is actually an SQL query triggered by a menu item. So, and I forgot to mention, you can use right-click options, make your own right-click options and trigger things off of there too. So you don't have to have buttons, you can use right-click options too. But one of the things you can do is put SQL queries in the main menu. You don't have to do them in the query manager and it has ugly code at the top. It's just annoying. So with SQL sales analysis, we'll take a look at this. So this runs, you can see it has a collapsible, you can control the golden arrows. So this particular document has credits and invoices, but it will work with the golden arrows. You can assign them manually without having to have the link break. And, it's just annoying. It's just annoying in the default system. This is just how it should work. You can still copy it to a table, export it. You could do so much more. You can auto refresh and It's just so nice to be able to have much more control. You can, and you can control the prompts and your parameters. So you could type whatever you wanted. You could do drop downs here dynamically. That in itself is just worth it there. Same with Crystal. Oh, and you can trigger queries like SQL queries from buttons or from macros to run information. So you can see all these options I have here. So you can run it like open orders and use like a formatted search style syntax in order to read off the form in order to give you better data there. So that's really, really cool, familiar to consultants, and easy to use, easy to maintain. Another thing about this is you could do the same thing with Crystal Reports. So you could do Crystal Reports. I'm going to use this retail store lookup. In this case, I've opted to use the external Crystal Reports runtime. And the external Crystal Reports runtime has some really big benefits. And in particular, something that a lot of people want is the cascading parameters, multiple to multiple, exactly how Crystal Reports does it without having to use the token system. You're going to say, Mike, you can use the tokens to reference other tokens. You can, but you can't do multi to multi, and there are limitations to it. So this allows you to do the full selection criteria from Crystal Reports and use it exactly like natively how you would want it. So I did Canada, British Columbia, and then I have a list of places in in British Columbia. I can use the drop downs there. And then you have like your basic kind of runtime output. You can click and do all your regular stuff there. So that's really cool. It can be launched. It can have dynamic parameters, SQL parameters. You can read from the forms. Their dynamic syntax usage is impeccable. And I am very happy with it. So the next thing I want to talk about is print and delivery. So print and delivery addresses a giant part of SAP Business One that's very difficult to work with, which is emailing from the system. SBO mailer, I don't like it. So print and delivery is something that takes it over, and it allows you to do a few things like compose the email directly out of SAP with placeholders. You can use HTML. You can send directly to a hosted exchange through the exchange connection and have it immediately show up in your sent box. You can use personalized exchange addresses. So your user can have a personalized exchange address and it'll send directly from it. You can send it centrally too, but it'll send directly from there. So if you're in a cloud setup or a terminal, you can still send directly from it. So let's take an example here. So I'm gonna go click the email. So print and delivery takes this over, and then print and delivery will do a couple things here. So there's a lot of different options for pulling the two. You can use groups, you can use all sorts of different things. I just picked the contact person there, but there's a lot more things you can do. I did a dynamic SQL query very quickly to pull the email of the sales employee. This is very common. People want the sales employee that was put onto the document to be CC'd or BCC'd, so they know that especially a remote salesperson, they know that the order went out. The subject, so I had demo template, sales order, I put the project in there, and then the document number. And this is all dynamic. You just build it with placeholders, and it's just infinitely repeatable, very, very straightforward. I used a bit more of a complicated body setup here, so I used an Amazon style table output, and then I put some HTML formatting in there. So you're gonna see what it looks like. So this, like, I don't have to edit any of this. This I'm just doing as a preview. So this actually will show you here what it's gonna print, and just as a preview so I can show you. I've conditionally attached documents, and I've also had it dynamically rename the PDF to whatever I want. I don't have to output it and then change it and then manually find out what the email is and then change everything. I added a brochure in here. Everything is done automatically. And format your email how you want, and you push send. And immediately you can see that it pops here into your sent box. In this case, this is how I have it set up. You can have it send directly, but it pops right in here. I guess I could just skip the preview and just have it pop right in here. And I can send it right from here. You can see everything matches. You have the different PDFs there. And this is what I was talking to. So you don't even need to have a PDF attachment. You could potentially just do this like an Amazon order confirmation or delivery confirmation and just have it sent automatically. You can send it batch at different times. It's a really, really flexible system. So it's really amazing. Another thing that people are looking for is obviously batch sending. So batch sending is very easy, and something like doing an EFT, an electronic funds transfer, and then you need to send the vendor payment advices. Out of the box, this is very, very quick to do. So I just check my 3. I just made an EFT example. I click OK. And it does everything. It uses the same system, the same options, and it lets you just do this automatically. And then you'll see that it'll just appear right in the draft. So you can send a ton of these, and these can go direct. But in this case, I've just done demos out of here and examples. So you can send these automatically. You could do batches of invoices, you could do batches of customer statements, and all that stuff. So it's things that, again, like SAP can do some of that stuff, but not necessarily as well as B1UP can do it. So that is a summary of the B1 usability package. I just kind of scratched the surface. You can go look up their manual. The user manual is like not password protected or anything. You can just go and check it out and look through all the features and see if it has what you want. Just search B1 usability package on YouTube. They have a really good YouTube channel with lots of information, lots of step-by-step examples. For licensing, the way it works is you would want all users licensed with B1UP. So the best practice is, like, say for example you have 15 users of SAP Business One. The core B1UP, you would want your 15 users covered. So it comes in a pack of 20 initially. So you'd want to buy the pack of 20, and then you can apply the 15, and you have the 5, as you grow. So 20 is the minimum number you can buy. But what happens is, because all the users have the B1 usability package installed, they can use all the different features. They see the item placements, they see all those various things in there. Then what I showed you there with the print and delivery, you would need to buy the print and delivery, but you can do that just for particular users. So users that send emails, order desk, etc. So you can kind of customize what you need. But out of the box, once you get the B1UP core, then all the users could use whatever dashboards you want, whatever customizations you want, item placements, macros, the online auto exchange rate stuff, and all the different tools that I showed you there. And they have some other extensions too, MailChimp, Budget, and some other things too, so check it out. But I just tend to use, and I think that the core B1 usability package and the print and delivery should be automatically included. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thanks again to my new supporters. Check out my Crystal Reports course, crystal.battleshipcobra.com. You can check out everything at support.battleshipcobra.com. I think that just now goes to my main page. So just go to battleshipcobra.com. Get everything there. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you could turn on your post notifications if you don't come to YouTube all the time. And thank you so much. If you give me ideas of what you want to see, I'm working on an SQL/HANA for SAP Business One Udemy course right now. I don't know when that's going to be done, but let me know if you want to see more stuff about B1 usability package. And you guys are so awesome. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later.